Imagine stepping back in time. Picture yourself walking through narrow, winding streets where the air is thick with the scent of freshly baked bread and the earthy aroma of livestock. The sounds of a bustling market fill your ears, with merchants calling out their wares and the clatter of wooden carts on cobblestone paths. You find yourself in Europe, sometime between the 5th and 15th centuries. This is a world vastly different from our own, yet it laid the foundations for much of modern society. The medieval village was the heart of this world, a place where life was both simple and complex, harsh and beautiful. The air is filled with the sounds of livestock and the scent of wood smoke. The bleating of sheep, the lowing of cattle, and the clucking of chickens create a symphony of rural life. Smoke rises from thatched roofs, hinting at the warmth and activity within each home. Children chase chickens through muddy lanes, their laughter echoing through the village. These children, though young, are already learning the skills they will need to survive in this world. They help with chores, tend to animals, and learn the rhythms of the seasons. This is the heart of the medieval world, the village. It is a place where everyone knows each other, where community ties are strong, and where every individual has a role to play. The village is not just a collection of houses, it is a living, breathing entity. Forget grand castles and epic battles. While these elements of medieval life capture our imagination, they were not the daily reality for most people. Instead, life revolved around the village, where the focus was on survival, community, and the cycles of nature. Daily life for most revolved around the rhythms of the agricultural year. Planting, tending, and harvesting crops dictated the pace of life. The success of these activities determined whether the village would thrive or struggle in the coming months. The village was a self-sufficient world, a microcosm of medieval society. Each village had its own fields, pastures, and woodlands, providing the resources needed for daily life. Villagers produced their own food, made their own clothes, and built their own homes. Within the village walls, life was a delicate dance between survival and celebration. Festivals and holy days provided much-needed breaks from the hard work of daily life. These events were times of joy where music, dance, and feasting brought the community together. Peasants toiled tirelessly in the fields. Their work was backbreaking and relentless, but it was essential for the survival of the village. They ploughed, sowed, and harvested, often from dawn until dusk, with little respite. Skilled craftsmen provided essential goods. Blacksmiths, carpenters, and weavers were vital to the village economy. Their expertise ensured that tools were made, buildings were constructed, and clothing was produced. The lord and lady of the manor held sway, offering protection in exchange for labor and loyalty. They lived in the manor house, a symbol of their status and power. The feudal system structured village life, with obligations and duties binding everyone together. And through it all, the church provided spiritual guidance, a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in uncertainty. The village church was the center of religious life, where villagers gathered for worship, festivals, and important rites of passage. This essay will delve into the daily realities of medieval village life. We will explore the intricate web of relationships, responsibilities, and routines that define this world. We will explore the lives of peasants, craftsmen, and nobles. Each group had its own unique challenges and contributions, shaping the village in different ways. We will witness the vibrant tapestry of community events and religious observations. These moments of collective joy and reflection were crucial in maintaining the social fabric of the village. We will uncover the realities of chivalry and the often overlooked contributions of women. While knights and noblemen are often celebrated, the daily efforts of women were equally vital to the village's survival and prosperity. And finally, we will examine the stark contrast between times of plenty and the ever-present threat of famine. The village's fortunes could change with the seasons, and the spectre of hunger was never far away. Join us now as we journey back in time to experience life in a medieval village. Through the eyes of its inhabitants, we will gain a deeper understanding of a world that, while distant, still echoes in our own. The vast majority of people in the Middle Ages were peasants. They lived in small villages scattered across the countryside, forming the backbone of medieval society. These peasants were the unsung heroes of their time, working tirelessly to sustain the entire feudal system. They were the backbone of the feudal system, providing the essential labor that kept the economy running. Without their hard work, the entire structure of medieval life would have crumbled. Their labor fed everyone from the lowliest villager to the king himself. The food they produced was crucial for the survival of all social classes, from the humble peasant to the nobility. Life for a peasant was one of relentless toil, dictated by the seasons and the ever-present need to appease the lord of the manor. The lord owned the land, and, in return for their labor, peasants were allowed to live on and farm small plots of it. From dawn till dusk, peasants worked the land. Their days began at sunrise and ended at sunset, with little time for rest in between. The work was physically demanding and required a great deal of endurance. Men and women labored side by side, their days filled with plowing, sowing, weeding and harvesting. Each task was essential to ensure a successful harvest, and everyone had to contribute to the effort. Children, too, joined in the work as soon as they were able. From a young age, they learned the skills needed to help their families survive. Their small hands were often put to use in tasks that required dexterity and attention to detail. They tended livestock, gathered firewood, and helped with the never-ending cycle of chores. Every member of the family had a role to play, and their combined efforts were vital for their survival. The most important crops were grains like wheat, barley, and oats. These grains were the foundation of the medieval diet, providing the necessary calories and nutrients to sustain the population. These were used to make bread, the staple food of the medieval diet. Bread was consumed at every meal and was often accompanied by small amounts of meat, cheese, or vegetables. Peasants also grew vegetables like peas, beans, and onions. These vegetables added variety to their diet and provided essential vitamins and minerals, and kept animals such as chickens, pigs, and cows for eggs, meat, and dairy products. Livestock was an important source of protein and other nutrients, and their byproducts were used in various aspects of daily life. Life for a peasant was harsh and unforgiving. The constant labor took a toll on their bodies, and many suffered from chronic pain and injuries. The work was back-breaking, the food often meager, and the threat of disease ever present. Illnesses spread quickly in the close-knit communities, and medical knowledge was limited. Yet, amidst the hardships, there was also a strong sense of community. Neighbors relied on each other for support, sharing resources and helping with tasks that were too difficult to manage alone. Neighbors helped each other, sharing what little they had and celebrating together during festivals and religious holidays. These moments of joy and togetherness provided a much-needed respite from the daily grind and reinforced the bonds that held the community together. While peasants toiled in the fields, working tirelessly from dawn till dusk to cultivate the land and harvest crops, skilled craftsmen plied their trades within the village. These artisans were the backbone of the community, each one contributing their unique skills to the fabric of daily life. These artisans were essential to the medieval economy, providing the tools, goods, and services that sustained daily life. Without their expertise, the village would struggle to function efficiently. From the blacksmith forging iron into plows to the cobbler stitching shoes, each craftsman played a vital role. Their work was not just about creating products, it was about ensuring the community's survival and prosperity. The most common crafts were those directly related to agriculture and everyday needs. These included the creation of tools for farming, household items, and clothing. Blacksmiths, for example, were highly valued for their ability to make and repair tools, horseshoes, and weapons. Their forges were the heart of the village, where metal was transformed into essential items. Carpenters built houses, barns, and furniture. Their craftsmanship provided the structures and furnishings that made life comfortable and functional. Weavers and spinners turned wool and flax into cloth for clothing and other necessities. Their looms were constantly in motion, producing the fabrics that clothed the village. Other craftsmen provided more specialized goods and services. These included items that were not necessarily needed every day, but were crucial for specific tasks and occasions. Cobblers made and repaired shoes, ensuring that everyone had sturdy footwear for work and travel, while tanners transformed animal hides into leather. This leather was then used for a variety of purposes, from clothing to tools. Millers ground grain into flour, a staple of the medieval diet. Their mills were vital for turning raw grain into a usable product, and bakers turned this flour into bread. The aroma of freshly baked bread was a daily reminder of the baker's essential role in the village. Potters created vessels for cooking, eating, and storage. Their pottery was both functional and often beautifully decorated, adding an artistic touch to everyday life. The list goes on, each trade contributing to the intricate web of medieval village life. From the tailor who made clothes to the cooper who crafted barrels, every craftsman had a place in the community. Craftsmen often lived and worked in the same building, blurring the lines between home and workplace. This close proximity allowed them to dedicate their lives to their craft, their workshops opening onto the bustling village streets. This setup made it easy for villagers to access their services and for craftsmen to be a part of the daily hustle and bustle. They took on apprentices, passing down their skills from generation to generation. This tradition ensured that the knowledge and techniques of each craft were preserved and continued. Through their hard work and ingenuity, these skilled artisans helped to sustain the village and ensure its continued survival. Their contributions were invaluable, weaving together the social and economic fabric of medieval life. The village market was a testament to their efforts, bustling with activity as villagers interacted with craftsmen, purchasing goods and services that were essential to their daily lives. The market was not just a place of commerce, but a hub of social interaction where news was exchanged and relationships were built. During festivals, craftsmen would showcase their finest work, demonstrating their skills and attracting admiration from villagers and visitors alike. These events highlighted the importance of craftsmanship in the cultural life of the village. The legacy of these craftsmen extended beyond their own lifetimes as they taught the next generation the value of hard work, creativity, and dedication. The future of the village depended on these young apprentices who would one day become master craftsmen themselves. In this way, the village thrived, with each craftsman playing a crucial role in its success. Their contributions were not just economic, but also social and cultural, making them indispensable members of the community. The sense of community among these artisans was strong, as they often collaborated and supported each other. This camaraderie was a key factor in the resilience and prosperity of the village. As the sun set over the medieval village, the contributions of its craftsmen were evident in every aspect of life. Their skills and dedication ensured that the village not only survived, but flourished, leaving a lasting legacy for future generations.